I was in like a United Woodwork workshop, and there was a mirrors, a glass in between the classes, and I can't remember the full details, but someone had a purple bandana, and they might have been playing music, something like that, and I put it on. Like, there's a guy in the next class who was I think prospecting for a gang, and I guess came from that lifestyle, and he saw me anyway, and then after class, we were both 13 years old, but he was probably 80 kgs at that point, just put me up on the wall and barking in my face and trying to get out of me who I was repping and all that, and as a little 13-year-old, pretty scary.
And what happened following that? I mean, did you go to the teachers or?
Nah, to go to the teachers, it was definitely scared, and then for the next few weeks, I was watching. Didn't walk around him or didn't, and he'd if he saw me, he'd bar up again. But it was never I think he realised that who I wasn't a threat to him, and I wasn't anything, but I guess he would have fed off that fear, I guess.
And just talking a little bit about again about what schools can do. Do you think that Tauranga Boys College did enough to curb fighting?
I guess so. Obviously having nothing to compare it with, fighting's still going to go on. Teachers can't police and monitor kids 24/7, and then with the dimension of social media, I guess that wouldn't help. And I guess they do crack down on it, and they're pretty strict, I think, on kids. But I guess there could be more. I don't know if there could be more initiative to curb violence curb the culture of violence, I guess, rather than just having an ambulance at the bottom of the cliff as punishment.
So do you think that in New Zealand there is a kind of wider culture, particularly amongst men, in terms of violence as a way to solve issues?
Yeah, I think so. I consider. Can I use an example?
Yeah.
I could just consider, especially with alcohol, living overseas. I lived in another country for 6 months and didn't see.
So you can say where you lived.
I lived in Europe and Denmark for 6 months, and during that whole 6-month period, I didn't see one fight the whole time I was going out. And then my first night back in Tauranga, I saw 2 fights. So it was just that really put it in perspective, the culture, not just alcohol abuse, but also the fighting culture.
So that perhaps it's not something that's isolated to high school, or perhaps it's something it's something that's cultivated in the high school years due to the hormones and stuff like that.
It's sort of I guess chicken and egg sort of thing. I don't reckon it's cultivated in high school. That's a hard question to answer. But I don't think it's It's supported by high school environments, but whether that's the cause or just a factor of young hormonal teenagers, I'm not sure.